Yes, sir.
It said the book we're supposed to get a class that can be online or something like that. So the textbook is, are we gonna have a textbook in this class?
Oh, we have an e-book, no physical book.
Okay, how do we access that?
Oh, I showed you last time.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I feel like whenever I'm writing, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
What I'll do is, I'll type up, for what we have covered, some main points and I'll post on.
Appreciate it. So, just what you were just talking about. So when you borrow money, you pay less tax. Is that?
Yes, exactly, because interest expense, so if you have a small business, okay, if you borrow money for the right reason, you don't want to borrow money just because you want to lower your taxes, because then borrowing also increases your risk. So you want to make sure that you're borrowing for the right reason. Okay, so yes, so your business will have more income, you'll pay less in taxes, and believe me, businesses, they spend thousands, even hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars on accountants to show them how to reduce their taxes. Yes, there are still lots of loopholes, that can be used legally to reduce your taxes, and borrowing money is enough, ploy or rule or whatever you want to call it that you can use to reduce corporate taxes.
so businesses who borrow money
Yes.
pay less in taxes.
Yes.
But if the revenues or the returns are more than what they borrowed,
Okay.
that's illegal for them to borrow if their returns are
Yeah.
increasing?
Yeah. Yes. 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 It's see here. Think about it. When Apple pays you a dividend, you are a shareholder. Okay. Dividend payments are not tax deductible. Apple, for example, has to pay taxes on all its income. And dividends come out of after-tax income. Okay. On the other hand, when Apple borrows money from lenders, okay, Apple can legally subtract interest expense from its taxable income. So look at it. There are two sources of funding for Apple: shareholders and lenders. Do you think they are treated differently? Because when Apple borrows money from lenders, interest expense is tax deductible. When Apple raises money from shareholders, dividend payments to shareholders are not tax deductible. Okay, so some people say that, hey, there is, discrimination against shareholders. Maybe, dividends should also be tax deductible, but they are not. They are not. Okay. So number two, as Facebook's or Apple's, chief financial officers, our job is to make sure that our firms use the right amount of debt. Okay? So our firm uses some optimal mix of debt and equity. So it's a very important decision. Okay, very important decision. So what happens is, the more debt you use, the more risk, there is for shareholders. Okay? But the benefit is that the more debt you use, the more interest expense you have, and therefore the lower your taxes go. So there is a trade-off here that I want you to be aware of, a trade-off. Okay? So debt increases the risk, but also debt, lowers corporate taxes. So this is the trade-off I'm talking about. Okay, anyone has any questions? Okay, so that was the second example of what we are going to be doing. So there are three examples on the first slide. Okay, what do we do in this course? We manage corporate funds. Okay, we manage business funds to create value. How do we create value? Number one, we create value by making good investment decisions. You understand now? We create value by choosing the right mix of debt and equity. Okay? Is it not value creation when Apple borrows money and the result of which is that its taxes are reduced, right? So there is more money for shareholders. You see what I'm talking about? So Apple is creating value for shareholders. Okay? Number 3, the third example that of what we do in this class is working capital management. Working capital management. Okay, what is working capital? You must have heard, on Shark Tank, or if you own a business, if you run a business, if you help someone run a business, you must have heard this term working capital. Okay, we teach you how to manage, a firm's or businesses' working capital. Does anyone know what this term represents? What this term means? Yes, sir?
So like if you have to pay employees and stuff like that, that's considered working capital.
Okay, all right.
Like it's like what the company needs, or cash the company needs to operate.
Okay, all right. So you are almost there. Working capital is another name for current assets. Okay, so when you see a businessman complaining, I don't have any working capital, that businessman is likely to be talking about current assets. He needs current assets. Why does he need current assets? Because if he doesn't have current assets, he won't be able to sell anything. He won't be able to do any business. So on Shark Tank, there's one question that those sharks ask very often. Hey, you're asking for $50,000. What are your plans for the $50,000? What are you going to do with this $50,000? And some of them say, I need more working capital. So look at what current assets include. Number 1 is cash. Okay. Why do you need cash? Cash helps you pay your bills, right? So you want to pay your employees, you want to pay AT&T, you want to pay Spectrum or, Cox Cable, or, for the internet and everything else. So you need cash. Okay, so number 1. Number 2, what else is contained? Accounts receivable. Accounts receivable. Accounts receivable. What are accounts receivable? Hey, most businesses in the US, they sell on credit. Hey, look, your credit is good, I've evaluated your credit. You can buy from me and pay me after 30 days. You see what I'm saying here? So most US businesses, they sell on credit, not cash. Not cash. So if you're going to be selling on credit, don't you need more money? Don't you need more working capital? Yes, you need more working capital. And number 3 is inventory. If you have no inventory, I don't know how you can sell. You see that? So working capital is an all-embracing, all-inclusive term that primarily, includes, these 3 things.